How would you like to be able to draw your favorite movie or cartoon characters? How would you like to create your own short film with your own drawings? How would you like to show off your art to the world? Our guest today will talk about how he started drawing his favorite anime characters and how he plans to use the skills he learned in TV and film production to show his drawings to the world. The Humanities Communications Arts Department at North Community College presents The New Directors, the show that introduces you to television's future writers, directors, and personalities. And now, join our host, Katerina Ivastovich, to meet the next new director.
Thank you for joining us for today's edition of The New Directors. All of the people involved in this program are students in television production course. Directing, they're switching, controlling audio, operating cameras, and acting as a talent for the first time today. The guests you're about to meet are the students who went on camera, are behind the scenes, working hard to bring this program to you with as few mistakes as possible. Each student will direct 4 different productions. This program will give them a chance to talk about themselves, their productions, their planning, and give you a chance to get to know them and watch their progress throughout the semester. Our guest today is a person who's currently in the student NCC with interest in film and TV. He is currently taking his very first TV and film production course. On his free time, he's enjoyed drawing objects and anime, especially Dragon Ball Z characters and the new drawing book. We would like you to meet our guest today, Christopher. Hi, Chris.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So we know that you're passionate about drawing. So could you please tell us how you got into this and when it became your passion?
Well, when I was a kid, I would watch TV for hours and hours, just watching anime, and I was fascinated by the different drawing styles. And I wanted to create these characters myself, but my drawing skills began as mediocre, so I was having a hard time with it. But after a lot of practice, I was eventually able to start. The characters that I drew would kind of start resembling the characters that I saw on TV a little more and more. Then after that, my problem was that I had a hard time visualizing the characters in my head. If I wanted to draw anything, I had to physically see it in front of me. I couldn't picture it in my head. It would come out terribly. After more practice, I eventually got used to the drawing style, the characters' clothing, their hair, their body types, and it was a lot easier for me to bring them to life on my drawing book without needing to see them on the TV. But after a while, they started feeling flat to me, and I wanted to somehow make them pop out more. I wasn't really sure, though. I couldn't figure out how to make them pop out more. And that's when I decided to start coloring in my drawings to make them pop out more, kind of bring them to life a little.
Could you tell us why you decided to take a TV production course?
I decided to take this TV production course because I've always loved films. Ever since I was a kid, I've always sat with my dad on the couch and just watched tons and tons of films, every kind, comedy, action, drama, romance, all of the above. And then I kind of also wanted to learn everything that happens behind the camera, not literally, but the people that you don't see in the back, how they make sure that everything looks great, from the audio, or when you're watching TV, how you see it switch from people to people. And after watching so many movies, I wanted to start creating my own short films with, maybe my own adventures, and make little short films out of the different drawings that I've made myself. And I always wanted to learn how to edit movies, how I always see that on TV, and how they add effects to it to make the movie look, more realistic, a lot better.
What do you think was the most useful thing you've learned at that particular course?
Well, I learned a lot of things in the course. Some of them were the different camera effects. One of the first things I learned was shift focus, which is basically you need a shallow depth of field, so you have to get really up close to something, and you shift focus to something in the front, make it really crisp and clear, but then the background is really fuzzy, and then vice versa, a really sharp background to a really blurry tree or whatever is in the front. We also learned poor man's dissolve, which, I mean, could also work as a fade-in, so it's pretty cool. But you pretty much get a picture and change it from really blurry to sharp, or really sharp to blurry. We also learned about the many different lines effects, and how they make a video or a picture, come out more, make it a little more powerful. From horizontal lines, meaning stability, vertical lines, meaning power, diagonal lines showing action, lines that emit from a center, how they show joy, how S and C lines can add grace to a picture, and how lines that create geometric shapes, how a repetition of those geometric shapes are really appealing to the human eye.
Well, it's very impressive. Can you please tell us about the production you created for the TV1 class? There are learning project, the winter project, the teacup sequence, and a student project. It would be nice to hear about that.
Well, the first one I did was the learning sequence. And that was the very first project we shot in a class with the rest of my classmates. We were learning the different kinds of shots, from extreme long shot to a long shot to a medium long shot to a medium shot, from there to a close-up, and then to an extreme close-up. We then did the winter project. We had to basically go out and capture the essence of winter in New England. So in this, we had to learn to use different effects, like the poor man's dissolve right there, the shift focus is right there. We also use different kinds of lines to show different actions in the videos, and we also eventually added music to it. It was pretty hard though. It was really cold out there capturing all that image. Next was the teacup project. So what we had to do was capture every little action, every little detail, every little thing that you do to make a cup of tea. Kind of like telling a story. Next was the student studies project. And for this, we had to, as the same as before, we had to capture every action, everything that a student would do as he prepares to get ready to do homework or take notes. We had close-ups of the backpack. We had close-ups of the hand coming in and out, clean entrances and clean exits.
Well, now we know that you had one project that you felt was the best one. Can you please tell us about it and give us the details while we're watching the footage and listening to the music?
Although I enjoyed doing all of the different projects, my favorite and my best would have to be the student studies project. For the student studies project, we had lots and lots of close-ups. Just like that, pushing down the button, then cutting straight to the pen tip coming out, then cutting straight back to the person releasing the button. This assignment took me between a week and a half and 2 weeks to do. It was a little funny because I had to keep telling my brother to switch back into these dirty clothes every time that we had to record. Although this is my best project to date, I am also working on a project called the Orange Project, and I'm still on the production side of it. I haven't started filming it yet, but I hope that the Orange Project will become my best project to date.
You mentioned the variety of things that you've learned throughout the semester. What do you think was the most, most interesting and important skill that you've developed, in your opinion?
The most important skill would have to be learning how to work Avid, because there's so much you can do with Avid. Through Avid, I learned how to take all these different short 5 to 7 second shots that I took and how to cut them all together and put them together to create a video. And we learned how to add music to it or take sound off, or how to add dissolves or add credits or introductions. So that was really neat. I also learned about the technical aspect of it, which I thought was really interesting. I was able to learn how to work the teleprompter, how to set it up, how to set up the mics for people, controlling audio, make sure, not one person is too loud, or how to set up Avid and how to set up the CG titles for different things. I also learned something about the importance of teamwork when it comes to TV and film production. There were a lot of times when I was lost and I had people, my classmates, helping me out. As well as working, when you're working together, you can't have, if one person messes up, it kind of messes up everyone else. So you guys have to really pay close attention, listen, and actually know what you're doing so you guys can make the best possible video together. And as a future hopeful artist, I kind of want to keep improving and owning my skills. And as a future TV director, I want to use the skills that I learned as a TV director to make short films of the different drawings I do so I can show them to people all over.
That's great. Today, we got to meet someone who shared with us his many different drawings and his love for the visual art. As a hopeful future artist, he hopes to improve and hope his drawing skills further. As a new TV director, he hopes to apply everything he has learned in film and TV production to make short films of his drawings to show off his art to the world. We would like to thank Chris for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
We hope you enjoyed meeting some of the television's future directors, and we hope you'll be continuing to join us each week to watch our progress. Thank you, and have a good day.
This has been The New Directors, with your host, Katerina Ivasovich, directed by Benjamin Shatner. I'm your announcer, Andrew Fitzgerald. The New Directors is a North Community College student production.